There is a new kid in the block in an automation genre, and I know that this genre has no lack of games, and I'm really happy to see what each and every one is bringing to the table. But today it will be different, because this time I'm not reviewing an actual game, well, not full game at least. I'm reviewing its demo, which is surprisingly full of features and full of things to do, and most importantly, for absolutely free. Not gonna lie, I have not played demos of the games for really long time, and I was pleasantly surprised of how much stuff there is in this one. And today we're going to be taking a look at Automated and seeing what it does, what it provides to you, and whether it's actually fun for the fans of automation genre. And yeah, usually I do not do the reviews of demos, but when devs of this game actually approach me and ask me to do this, I just decided to go for it. So what is Automated? It is actually a factory building puzzle game. And this game actually challenges you to design and optimize industrial systems under tight size, power, and time constraints. So if you think that this is some kind of clone of Factorio or Satisfactory, it's not. Those games are focusing on more large aspects of factory automation, where you start from absolute zero and advance in a linear path to more complex and complex machines. While here, you actually have the specific set of tasks that you need to complete. And to be fair, this game is a perfect introduction for an automation genre, introducing you to different things like production capacity, belt capacity, using your resources with the maximum efficiency, and things that I usually do not pay a lot of attention in other factory automation games, which I kinda should. So in this game, players use a wide array of machinery and automation components to create intricate solutions and automated processes. And this game actually emphasizes puzzle solving, with each level or challenge presents unique constraints to overcome. And not only you can build your own puzzles, but you can also share your creations with other players, fostering a creative community. And don't worry, I'm going to talk about overall gameplay loop in a second. And every design must be optimized for performance, finding the best balance between efficiency and feasibility, and this is the core challenge of the game. Visually, the game features a colorful, minimalist, and stylized visual design that makes the complex systems visually appealing and relaxing. But okay, that's understanding. This is an automation game where you focus on specific tasks like puzzle solving, but that's basically a puzzle solving automation game where you're given a specific task to create specific resources and specific time constraints and specific resource constraints. But how it plays? What is the gameplay loop of the game? So each level and scenario gives you specific sets of constraints, like size, because you have a very small tight amount of space, power, because you have a limited amount of power and you cannot just throw everything on a map, and time, because you need to be achieving specific goals under specific amount of time. And it also gives you very clear objectives, like to make an X amount of resources in an X amount of time. And the game is divided into a few different phases. You're starting with the design phase, where you plan and construct an automated system using various industrial components, such as conveyor belts, machines, and logic units. That's very understandable. That's basic thing for every automation game. You carefully position and configure parts within the limited space, while considering power and throughput requirements. And once your design is complete, you just run a simulation to test its performance against the given constraints. So you see how it performs, and the simulation provides you feedback on efficiency and performance, prompting you to refine and adjust your design. You iterate your design repeatedly to maximize efficiency, balancing trade-offs between speed, power consumptions, and output, while also managing available resources and time, which is critical, as each design must meet production and operational targets. And all this makes a perfect training ground for any automation games. You basically have everything unlocked, every machinery that you require, the conveyor belt, you see all the numbers, and your goal is to make the design that is as efficient as possible. Now, you can complete this task pretty easily, but to complete it to the perfection requires much more work, because game also features a star reward system. So basically, for each and every completion of the task, you are given a specific star. Like for example, you can be given 1 star for just simply completing the task, another one for using specific amount of power, another one completing this in a specific amount of time, like shorter than the operational target, and etc. etc. You can also do multiple runs to complete your task in multiple different ways to see which design works perfectly. So in essence, this is a perfect training ground for any automation games. If you can complete the task perfectly in these games, you can do this in every other game as well. But But what are we getting? Like, isn't this repetitive? Isn't this boring? How many levels are there? Well, let me tell you, there are a lot of levels to complete in this game. Now, if you're gonna talk about the demo, you have quite a lot of levels already in the game to give you a perfect understanding what type of game you're gonna get when it will fully release. There are more than a dozen levels of various complexity, allowing you to reach your goals of perfect automated machines. But that's not all. You also have an ability to see what type of levels will be available in a full game. And at the moment of the recording, you have 5 different worlds, each with 10 different levels. So you're gonna get at least 50 different levels when the game will release. But even that's not all. Game also features community-based levels. And you can actually start building levels even today in a demo version of the game. And there are a lot of different levels already made by the community. And the game has been out, or rather demo has been out only just for a few days at the moment of the recording of this video. Not just even a few days, like it was out like a day or 2 ago. So you have a lot of levels already available in a demo, which is absolutely free. You have a lot of levels coming up when the game will come out in summer 2025. And you have a lot of community levels, which makes it basically infinitely replayable and infinitely challenging as well. What is not to like there? But of course, we're gonna talk about downsides. This game is not perfect, or rather this demo is not perfect. If you thought that I would tell you only about the good things, yeah, you haven't watched my channel. So are there any disadvantages? Well, let's start with complexity. Every automation game is complex, and it is requiring quite a steep learning curve to understand. If you have never played automation games, you're gonna have some challenges. It's not really impossible because every single level features a very good tutorial as well, which gives you every task step by step, but it will still be quite a learning curve for most of you. But that's not a big thing, because big thing is early access issues. Well, you see, despite this demo running rather well for me, it was still not running very smoothly. I've read a lot of reviews telling that this game runs absolutely smooth even on a demo, but it was not for me. And I have a pretty beefy machine. Maybe it's driver issues with AMD because I'm using primarily AMD system, but I was not getting a consistent 60 FPS in a game, which is a shame and needs to be told. It will probably get fixed rather soon because this game is not really that complex, because you are not making a really large machines. Most machines are rather local, but still, this thing needs to be told. Next issue that might be for some but not for all is potential repetition. You see, this is a rather repetitive game. Well, not in a bad sense, but you still have the same amount of puzzles that you need to be completing over and over again until you're gonna get it to the perfection. This is not an issue with the game itself, this is an issue with the genre, but this still needs to be told. You will be doing same things over and over and over again, making a small tiny incremental changes to get a different result. And this might feel repetitive for many. Level wise, you're gonna have a lot of levels, yes, you're gonna have a lot of community levels, and you're also gonna have a weekly challenges, and you also have a leaderboards as well, which allows you to compete with other players, but still it will be repetitive nonetheless, at least at some degree. So do I recommend this game? Well, demo? Yes, it's free. You can just go and try it for yourself. If you don't like it, you can delete it anytime that you want. But if you're a fan of automation genre and know much more than I do, which is more likely, you just test it out and give feedback to the devs, because they will need it. And if you like automation games, don't forget to check out my list of best automation games that you can check it right here. But if you prefer something more specific and want to know all about the king of the factory automation games, you can check my review of Factorio right here. Don't forget to subscribe right here as well. It's a beautiful day, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Take care.